mute. My name is Erin Cook, and I'm a Communities Coordinator at ASUG Headquarters. I'd like to welcome you to the ASUG affiliate-sponsored webcast, Creating a Culture of Measurement, Best Practices for Dashboard Design, and thank you for participating today. A few keeping notes to keep in mind. All participants' lines are currently on mute. However, we would like to encourage attendees to ask their questions throughout the webcast via the Q&A panel in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Be sure to direct your questions to all panelists in the Q&A panel in order to catch everyone's attention. We will be taking questions over the phone lines at the end of the presentation. At that time, I will come on the line and give you instructions on how to unmute your lines to ask those questions. Today's cast is being recorded, and the recording will be sent out to all the registrants as well as posted to asug.com. I'd now turn it over to one of our speakers today, Nick Katzenbach at Optimal Solutions. Nick?
Aaron, appreciate the introduction and all of our participants joining us this afternoon. Thanks so much for taking the time. We're thrilled to be here and have an action-packed agenda for you. We'll go ahead and advance the slide. So basically, we'll go ahead and go through some brief introductions, and then Lance Charlish from the SAP Utilities organization will take us through SAP's focus in the utility space. I'll take you through a brief overview of Optimal Solutions, talk through the SAP Solution Roadmap, bringing up our core content for the day around business intelligence best practices for utilities, around dashboard design, dashboard development, and we'll also provide you with some examples and use cases. And then, of course, we always appreciate questions, feedback, comments from a standpoint as well. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and go through some brief introductions. So by way of introduction, Lance Charlish is joining us from SAP's Senior Industry Principal for Utilities. Nick Katzenbach, and I'm the Director of Sales for our Utilities Go-to-Market practice, i.e. one throat to choke for all things you would need from an optimal perspective. I'm Stierwalt from Optimal Solutions, our Business Intelligence Practice Director. At this point, we'll go ahead and hand over the presentation to Lance Charlish from SAP.
Thank you, Nick. I appreciate the invitation to participate today. Nick asked me to speak a little bit as to where some of our priorities are for 2012 from an analytics point of view, and specifically from a high-speed analytics point of view. So what we're seeing in the industry at SAP is fundamentally larger amounts of data that need to be handled within the analytic environments within the utility ecosystem, largely as a consequence of the AMI infrastructure, as well as brand new tools and capabilities coming in for analytic modeling, where those tools might be Explorer-type data tools that allow our customers to use even iPads or other kinds of mobile technology to go in and explore data. Just before I go into the slide, I did want to mention that there is a requirement on my part, because the functionality we'll be discussing today is to-be functionality, future functionality, and functionality we're currently working on. I just wanted to make that explicitly clear in the call today, and this isn't a promise of any kind of functionality. And so with that, we can just go on to the next slide. Thank you. There's four real main areas in 2012 that we're focused on from a high-speed analytics point of view. Leveraging a brand new product that came to market last year, which is an in-memory database tool called HANA. And HANA essentially allows us to run all of our queries, all of the analytic models that we have inside of an in-memory appliance. So it doesn't have to access the disk, and the result is consequently is often hundreds of times faster than some of the traditional approaches that we've used in the past. It's really four main business areas we're focused on this year. Smart meter analytics, so what is coming in with that meter data and how can we use it and where do we get insight from it? Two, smart grid analytics. Smart grid analytics is about understanding what the implication of that new data is to the actual operation of the infrastructure. Customer analytics, how can we serve our customers better, knowing what we know about them? You know, in the past, we've always had to guess what consumption profiles are, do averages on those profiles. Now that real information is there for us. And then from an operational point of view, when we're trying to put together material for rate cases, for other kinds of financial close processes, how can we use analytics to speed, accelerate, and drive accuracy in the operations? So, obviously, we don't have time in just the few minutes we have today to walk through each and every one of these use cases that we're developing analytic models and solutions around. But I just wanted to highlight a few of them on the call today. So on the smart meter side, one of the things we're really focused on is consumption-based profiling for customers. So especially in the demand-side management piece, one of the needs that we see out there is how do you know which customers are going to benefit the most from which demand-side management measures? So now with AMI infrastructure being put in place, you get more information about your customers and how they're actually consuming energy, their profile curves. You can look at those profile curves and understand more about the way that they're consuming, and that, as a consequence, lets you know where it is that they might be able to benefit more from energy efficiency. It also allows you to benchmark them against other customers of similar like and kind using weather data, premise information, in a commercial case, how many hours the store is open, so that you can actually look and benchmark and say, okay, well, we see you here, you're 13% beyond consumption compared to the other benchmark customers we have. You're doing really well, you're doing less than that. So once you understand those things about your customers and how they're actually consuming based on that smart meter data, you can target the DSM programs that are going to be specific, relevant for them. We think drive a much more aggressive adoption and megawatt-hour reduction in the system overall. On smart analytics, one of our key, and I have to say one of the most challenging use cases we have is non-metered circuit theft. So one of the things we talk about quite a bit with our customers is energy theft. And in the more aggressive cases of energy theft that our customers are seeing, people are going and actually stealing energy from non-metered circuits, whether those might be street light circuits, the circuits that serve stoplights, so that they're essentially not getting any specific metered related activity. So how do you find when someone's stealing energy from a circuit that's not metered, what data, what information from transformers, from smart meters can you pull in to model out and identify where those points of vulnerability in your system are, especially as AMI matures. There's fewer trucks rolling, fewer people out in the streets, so you're not going to see some of the signs that historically you would have operationally. And just the last one from a customer analytics point of view, the use case again for us that we're focused on is high bill, specifically identify high bills before they happen. So as more data is coming in, you're able to see the consumption patterns of energy. When customers' consumption patterns start to change dramatically, you don't have to wait till after the bill comes out to have that discussion of what is that their bill was $40, $80, $120 more this month. In fact, you can anticipate when that's going to happen. And we've seen in our research is not only do you need to know and tell the customer when you think their bill is going to be higher, but you have to give them some understanding as to why you think it might be. So it will just turn into another call into your call center going, my bill's too high. You get the call before the bill comes instead of after the bill comes. You have to get really smart, too, about telling your customer why you think this is happening. So another major area of analytic investment for us this year, we think with this new information that we can fundamentally change some of the interaction and some of the process that goes on within a utility, drives so much value to the customers and a lot of value back to utility operations as well. So at level, those are some of the things that we see as priority. If you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to drop me an email at lance.charlish@sap.com, and I'll be happy to discuss any of these use cases or other ones that are on this list in more detail. So much, Nick. I'll turn it back over to you.
Perfect. And so to see what SAP is doing, and certainly on the cutting edge of technology. A little bit more about HANA here in a moment. But just wanted to give you a quick overview of optimal solutions at a glance. So you think of optimal solutions, and one of the things that you can certainly hopefully take away from this is optimal solutions is the largest SAP-focused implementation partner in North America. We've been around for over 60 years, based out of Irving, Texas. We've won a number of awards, most recently for our consulting expertise. We were awarded the SAP Services Partner of the Year recognition award for the SAP implementation